So listen, I wasn't even supposed to be going live tonight, but I was scrolling on my Instagram feed, minding my business, and I seen a post. And the post was from a man. He said, "A 4 reasons a woman should never propose to a man." And there was 4 reasons given, and I read the comments section, and I had a lot of thoughts. So I wanted to make a video about my own perspective about whether or not I personally, me, as if my opinion matters to a lot of you guys, which I don't think that it does. Do I personally feel like a woman should ever propose to a man's, the pros and the cons? Let me get this straight off the bat. Listen, I am a firm believer of to each its own. If you feel as if you're inspired to propose to someone, regardless of gender, if you don't want to lose someone, if you love them with everything you have, your whole soul, your mind, and you're ready to spend the rest of your life, and you feel like the feelings are reciprocal, and you feel motivated to propose to that person, regardless of what sex they are, I feel like you should do it. It's if you're comfortable with it, okay? So I just wanted to put my personal opinion to each its own, but let's talk about it. There are so many people today that's like, a woman should never propose to a man. He who finds a wife, Ace, he who finds a wife. And my problem is not that I do not disagree with that. Here's my problem though. It adds so much passivity to women being in control of their own love life. Like we put on women that they should wait for a man to ask them out on a date. They should wait for him to call her. They should wait for this and wait for that. And lo and behold, sometimes you stick around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years still waiting for a man to be ready to ask you to marry him. So here's my thought. This is a far-fetched thought. And I know a lot of you guys are not about to agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it and I don't care the consequences. Listen, I feel like a lot of women would waste a lot less. They would waste not as much of their time if more women were more active in their dating life, in their love life, if more women proposed. Now, this is not me suggesting you do it. Whatever you comfortable with is what you're comfortable with. But think about it like this. If you proposed and he said no, then now for sure, you know he doesn't want to marry you. At least not right now. Now for sure, you know he's not ready. How many times have you stayed around year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, thinking that he was almost ready? You're like, okay, this month gonna be the month. The next month gonna be the month. Then next year and then next year. My only thing with that is saying this. I honestly feel like the sting of proposing to a man hits so much deeper with a lot of women than the potential consequence of keeping your mouth shut about how you really want to spend the rest of your life with him and how you're ready to make this decision and know where he stands. So much so that you're willing to lose years more of your life waiting for a proposal that'll never come. Now, again, I'm not here to suggest that you be getting on your knees. If you one of the traditional women, you like, yo, listen, Ace, if he want me, he should propose to me. But he not proposing. That's my point. He not proposing to you. He hasn't. It's been 3 years. Now, this ain't the people that's been 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, but it's been 3 years. Like at this point, this whole idea of, well, you know, a man will never respect you if you propose to him. Who said that? Who said that? I don't understand, man. So let me lay it down to you like this. I'm gonna put you in this hypothetical sense. This is my thought process on it. One of the biggest arguments is when a man is ready, then he'll propose. But how come you never get that same leeway? How come women are always expected to be ready for marriage at the beginning of dating, and men get years to figure out whether or not they want to or not? To the point of, well, if you propose to him, that means he really wasn't ready to marry you yet. Then why the hell is he dating? Why the hell is he dating? Why the hell are you living together? Why the hell do you got kids together? My thing is, so I don't like that argument. Well, if you propose to him, then he might say yes, but he really wasn't ready, because if he was actually ready, he would have proposed to you. Listen, if you fulfill, not saying that you should propose to your man. I don't know how many times I gotta say this during this conversation. This is just me hypothetically speaking. My point is, if you, I would want you to be with a man that you felt was worthy of you proposing to. Not saying you should, not saying that you beat him to it, but if you're looking at me right now, you're like, heck no, Ace, I'll never propose to a guy. You probably just ain't met the right guy yet. All right. And all I'm saying is not that you would, but he'd make you think twice about it. Like, man, I want to ask this man to marry me. And then here's the bigger point, the kicker. Think about it like this. Here's the kicker. The kicker is, I think more women propose the idea of marriage than you all would like to admit. Because men, we know, like, yeah, you might have not have been the person that got on your knee, but you certainly probably was the person talking about it first. Hey, so when we gonna get married? Like, you cool with saying, hey, when we gonna get married, but you're not cool with saying, hey, will you marry me? And then it goes to the deeper point. Why? Why? Why would you not propose to a man? Why? All right, so look, let's see this. Here's the answer. Sorry, I would never propose to a man because my grandparents would crawl up out their grave and kill me. Laugh out loud. This is not traditional. I would never belittle myself as a woman like that. A man who finds a woman finds a good thing. Keep it feminine, ladies. If that man wants to marry you, trust and believe he'll propose to you. Now, here's my problem. Here's my problem with this statement. Again, I'm a to each his own person. So I believe if a woman decides to propose to a man, that's within her right to do so. I don't like the idea that a man can do something that a woman can't. And then when we get to it, think about it. This is the attitude. I would never belittle myself as a woman like that. The Instagram post I saw was talking about how it makes you seem desperate, or it devalues you when you do so, but it doesn't do that for a man. I think my point in saying this is, I just would like for everybody to be more open-minded about it and less judgmental. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. I get that. Keep it feminine, ladies. I get that. But then on the same token, we scream about traditional, like it's not traditional. But nothing in 2020 is. It's not traditional that you have a job. You know what I'm saying? As women can vote. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, they used to stone women for touching another man's genitals. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just, to me, it's like we pick and choose which traditional things we want to bring in the future. And I really feel like personally that the marriage topic is one where two people have to come together and both decide to marry each other. And if we are partners and inside our household, you decide to propose the idea of marriage first, I don't have any problem with that. That doesn't make me feel emasculated as a man. Doesn't make me feel like I'm not doing my job. It doesn't make me feel like I didn't find a good wife. And I don't have a problem with the scripture. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. But the problem I have with it is it almost makes it seem like it's absent that a woman finding a husband is not also a good thing as well. And I just feel like, man, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments section. And if you're listening to this on audio, you guys, my podcast will be up immediately afterwards. Probably give me like an hour. You can listen to my podcast on all your channels. So Spotify, I'll be on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. It's the Ace Metaphor audio experience. So make sure you check that out. I'm gonna check out a couple of y'all comments before I leave. Let's see. Where's some of y'all comments? Here's this. Exactly. Two people have to come together and decide to get married. There should be a conversation beforehand, and whoever cares, who cares who does the proposing. My point is this, ladies. Just because you didn't get on your knee doesn't mean you didn't propose the idea of marriage. Just because you specifically don't say, "Will you marry me?" doesn't mean that you wasn't involved in the marriage proposal. Anytime you're saying, "Hey, listen, we've been together some time. Hey, bro, when you gonna marry me?" You know what I'm saying? That is a proposal. That is strongly influencing somebody to say, "I'll marry you." Now I get it, the romanticism of it. You want to be shocked. You want somebody to get on their knee. You want them to ask. I get that. I think that it is the showy display of it. So I feel like you got two different parts. You have the private proposal, which is between two people with whom they love each other deeply. This is when you're discussing marriage. This isn't a whim. I just asked you and impulsively you said yes. No, this is before that. This is we are sitting down at the table and we're having a serious conversation about whether or not we should get married. I asked you, do you want to be married? You asked me if I want to be married. We talk about how this marriage is going to look, how we're going to share things, how we're going to map out things in the future. And then when we come to a consensus privately, then there will be a public proposal. So let's clarify it. I think there's a difference between a public proposal and a private proposal. You know, if you want to just do like a, you know, you just want the semantics of it. You like the idea of a man getting on his knee asking you to marry him. That's cool. But I feel like proposals are deeper than that. I feel like it is between two people and it's a conversation that should last some hours. It's where you guys are getting everything off the table. You are clearing the slate. You are making sure that every bit of information is being available to that person so they know whether or not they should say yes or not in both people. And this is why I feel like our divorce rates are so high now, because we're more concerned about the spectacle than the actual meat of the conversation. So here you are when I'm talking about, well, would you ever propose to a man? You like, well, nah, I'm just too, that's demeaning. I would never. And I'm like, but you do be proposing to men. You do. If you say, when we gonna get married, that's a proposal. So I guess I see it both ways. So you might be saying, okay, I'll never get on my knee and ask a man to marry me. So if you're saying that, I guess I can understand that. But then on the same token, I'm like, well, if this man is not worth you thinking about, even if you don't do it, but if you don't think twice about, well, damn, I get on my knee to marry this man, then maybe that's not a man you should marry. Like, and I'll say this. If you too good to even think about possibly asking this man to marry you, then you probably don't need to be with that man. I'm not saying you have to, but if the thought don't come through your head like, man, I'm gonna ask this nigga to marry me, then maybe that ain't your man. Because think about it. Think about the trade-off. You get a man a man that's gonna love you for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully provide and protect, is your equal, your soulmate. He reciprocates, the man you've always dreamed about. And then you meet him and say, well, I'm too good to possibly even think about proposing to that man. Like, I don't get that. And maybe because I'm a man, like I just don't see the big deal in proposing. But I'm going to flip it. The reason why I feel like it's advantageous for people, let's pretend you're a person that's been in a relationship, like we said it before. You've been in a relationship 2, 3, 4 years from now, or 4 years, and he has not popped the question to you, and your option is waiting longer for him to decide to ask you, or you asking him yourself to see what his answer is. And if the answer is no, then now you have to adjust. You do that anyway. You do. Hey, listen, if we ain't getting married, I'm leaving. The fuck you think that is? I call that an ultimatum proposal. Y'all be doing, so don't play with me. Don't play with me tonight. So let's say somebody said, hell no, that's totally desperate. That's the man's job to do it. It says in the Bible, he to find the wife, the other way around. Even male animals pursue. Listen, hey Patricia, you know I love you. Here, check this out. Is it desperate for a man to ask a woman to marry him? The answer you're going to say is no, right? It's not desperate for a man to ask a woman to marry him. So why is it desperate for a woman to ask a man to marry her? If you're going to say it's not typical, I understand that. But why is it desperate? Why is that more desperate than hanging on to a man for 5 or 6 years when you know you want a commitment and you didn't get it? Why is that any less desperate than sticking around with a man that's been cheating on you 3 or 4 women and got a kid on the side? That's more reasonable for you than finding a man with whom has positive qualities and attributes that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and being assertive as to what you want. I'm just asking for you to think about it a different way. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm just getting sick of y'all twisting that scripture. I'm just getting sick of y'all doing that. Like, the he who finds a wife finds a good thing does not say that you can't propose to someone with whom you want to spend the rest of your life with. This doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm just one of those new dudes. Like, I don't understand. I first of all, I don't understand why women put up with half the shit y'all put up with. Because the reason I don't understand that is because I'm a guy and we don't put up with that shit. Like, guys do not give you the same leeway you give them. And I believe that the deeper question is this. The deeper question is, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel it's desperate? Why do you feel like it's the man's job to do? Because you've been taught that. You've just been taught that. There's no specific reason. Like, you can't give me a sound, specific reason as to why you feel like it's something a woman shouldn't do. You can tell me your preference, but you can't tell me a sound, specific reason, right? Nobody. Somebody give me a sound, specific reason outside of that's what you've been taught to do. Even the people that push the Bible, what scripture does it say a woman can't propose to a man? You just like the comfortability of not having to face the potential of rejection. Let's talk about it. This is why you don't ask men on dates, because you're afraid of someone saying no. It's easier to be in the passenger side in a relationship, right? Because you don't have you take less responsibility if things go wrong. It's easier to not take chances. How many good guys have passed you by because you were too passive and you were too afraid to speak up, and you hid behind the old adage, it's his job to come find you? And all I'm saying is, if the traditional way has been working for you, continue to do that. But for all y'all single asses, everybody, most of y'all that's watching me right now, single as fuck, right? In your 30s and 40s, talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually been working for you. You up there, I'll never, like this is work. I'm just saying, consider. It is not the proposal that I'm talking about. It is just the whole idea that the patriarchy has been set in stone so long. The rules written by men to advantage men has been set in stone so long that you don't even question it. You don't even think to yourself, why is it that only a man can propose to a woman? Why is it that only a man can, quote unquote, ask a woman out? Why is it that a woman's supposed to stand there, look good, and wait for a man to come get her? Wait to a man to decide to give her a lifetime of love. Like it's been established so long that we don't even question it. I guarantee if in the beginning, even the Bible y'all talk about so much, I love the Bible. I don't even want to get on y'all bad side, but look in the Bible. Look at all the authors. Tell me one woman you see that wrote a book in the Bible. I'm just saying, I'm not sitting up here trying to just hear me out. Hear me out. God's a guy. Jesus is a guy. For all you know, every angel you write about in that Bible was a guy, right? Every single one had a guy's name. Gabriel, everybody. Right. Every prophet was a guy in the Bible. I just think about it. I ain't trying to come out. I know I ain't trying to lose followers, but I'm just saying, my point is, even the Bible was written by a lot of men and a lot of the messages in the Bible were passed through by men. We have a few female biblical characters, obviously. You have Ruth. Then it get hard, right? You got Ruth, maybe Esther. And then it get hard. You know, Shulamite girl, Solomon, like the Shulamite girl. You had Mary Magdalene. I think she was a prostitute. You had it get hard, right? It get hard. Bathsheba. You know, King David, like then you had Delilah, she was cutting hair off. I mean, when you really I don't even want to go there. None of the apostles was women. My point is, the patriarchy is something you have to open your brain out to think about, right? The patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? The patriarchy. I'm about to get unfollowed. Like, hey, you can't talk nothing about the Bible before people are followed. But everything I just said was true. Nothing I said just now was somebody said a lot of females in the Bible, right? Name a prophet. Name a female prophet. Name a woman that wrote a Bible in the book. A book in the Bible. Name a woman that had a significant role, like leading people in the Bible. Name an angel that had a woman's name. It's amazing. That's why my point is saying this, though, is we bring the Bible in it as if it wasn't heavily influenced by I said Ruth, I said all these people. Y'all can't argue with me on this one. Hey, all my Bible people, y'all can't argue with me on this one. I mean, it just is what it is. Deborah was a judge. I said a prophet. Give me a prophet. Give me a prophet. All right, back to my point. My point is, when we think about how we view things right now, especially in 2020, it's my personal belief that it's heavily influenced by the patriarchy. I feel like that when you go to the rules that we live by especially when it comes to dating, is heavily influenced to benefit the man. It's almost like, yo, when you're ready, get married. But when she should wait for you to get married. You know what I mean? And I just think that is, if we had like if we had if you hypothetically can go back, right, to the beginning of time and have the women, or let's say you had people that will write down the gender roles, right, and what things should be. And you have women and men both collaborating on what those should be equally, I believe we would have different social norms right now. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like we would have different social norms. Um, and one of those things would be, I don't believe women should wait for anything. I believe if you want a job, go get it. If you want to excel at a certain career, go do it. If you want to become president, go do it. Shit, if you want to go have a house husband, go find one. I don't care what you want to be. Do it. Be assertive with your dreams. And you guys are all agree with that until we start talking about love life. Everything else in your life, you are assertive about achieving your goals. But as soon as we start talking about a man, the standards change. And I just don't think that works for everybody. So let's just put it like this. Let's do it like this. Let me read a couple. I'll come back to a couple more of y'all comments. But I'll put it to you like this. As I said in the beginning, my personal view is to each his own. If you are comfortable with proposing to a man, go do it. Have no shame in it. It doesn't make you desperate. It doesn't make you less of a woman. It makes you assertive as to what you want. And either he gonna say yes or no. The same is true for a man. Shit, we teach our men that go after what you want. If you want her, go talk to her. Why can't we teach that to our women? I personally don't understand it, because I've tapped out of the matrix. So not everybody at that level would be. But my point is, for me, if a woman was to propose to me, either I say yes or no. If I wanted to marry her, I say yes. If I did not, say no. It wouldn't make me feel any less of a man. It wouldn't make me feel not in control. It would just means that this person loves me that much that they want to spend the rest of their life with me. Specifically, men, if you are thinking about proposing to her, I would have a private proposal first. And I think that we should take those more seriously than we do the showy display of things. Because here we are, we've been arguing about a show. Like, getting on one knee with a ring is a show. I mean, it means a lot. I mean, it's romantic, but it's a show. It's theater, right? It's theater. The real meat and bones is the discussion you're supposed to have prior to doing that. You both, by the time you leave, like by the time you have that initial discussion about whether or not you guys want to be married, whether you guys have the skills to be married, life together, you get everything on the table. And then after that, you both decide together that, yes, let's get married. If one person or another want to do the whole get on one knee at some point down the road thing, cool. I just think that shouldn't be the most important thing. And so when I think about proposal, that's what I think about. I think about that initial meet conversation, not the showy display on a knee. And I feel like a lot of women prompt that conversation, period. And I think you should be more assertive about having that conversation. So if you've been in that relationship 2 or 3 years and you ask that man, hey, listen, are we getting married or not? You feel me? I want to marry you. You want to marry me? All right, cool. Let's talk about it. How we going to make this work? Let's get a pencil and paper. What our vows going to be? What is our promises to each other? Blah, 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 blah. And if you can agree on that, then yeah, I'll marry you. And he'll say, yeah, I'll marry you too. All right, then. So we're going to get married at some point, right? Cool. And then if you want the nigga to go surprise you just because you think that's what he's supposed to do, then go ahead, man. But my idea of waiting for a man to bring up the topic of marriage to you and to ask you to marry him when you are giving your time to this relationship and you feel like it's been a little too long without nothing popping off, then you decide you want to forward the conversation and get it in the atmosphere so you can see where he stands. Either he do or he don't. And if he don't, then you're going to move on. Then do it, boo-boo. And quit letting all these single ass women tell you that you can't, and it makes you desperate and fragile, as if they ain't been hitting up this guy that ain't texting them back for the last 3 months. I promise, the same people that be up here talking shit in the comment section, the same people with man problems. Okay, so I don't let nobody judge you, boo-boo. All right. I appreciate y'all listening to me. I appreciate y'all, man. So much, man. Again, listen, y'all argue with yourselves on this one. A said to each your own. I done said that 4 or 5 different times. Y'all arguing with yourselves. As a man, I don't see why it's this big deal to you I just don't understand it. I don't understand why you like, well, no, I never do that. Like, I don't understand that. I guess it's just some things that is just not up for me to understand. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'll say this. Let's see. Man problems. Yes, men make problems. All right. Somebody said, ask it from the jump. You know what you're getting into from the beginning, so you don't waste time. That's my whole point. Somebody said, I proposed to my husband 30 years ago. Go ahead. Somebody said, women want to be equal, but not in every way. Double standards. Let's see. As if women aren't unhappy in relationships that they were pursued in. Preach. If you don't shut up and keep talking. Like people be acting like waiting for him to propose is the secret sauce to all of this. Like it don't make no sense to me. Like if you did divorce, like it would not work. As if waiting for him to do it hasn't also presented 50% divorce rates. Like listen, here's my thing. My thing is this. It would be foolish for you, the listener, to not consider why you feel the way you do about proposing. Because even bigger than proposing, it is, again, passivity when it comes to dating. Does that question encapsulize how passive you are when it comes to dating? And if the question is yes, then you got to ask yourself why. And besides what you've been told without anything to back it up, where's the studies that say asking a man to marry you, it means that your relationship is 42% more likely to end in divorce? Like, somebody tell me where the statistics is. I guarantee you this. I honestly feel like you'd probably attract a higher like you would date a higher quality man if you were more active in your dating life. Like, I feel like women settle, and you don't think you're settling, but let's pretend you're a woman that waits for a guy to approach you, right? In a night, in a room of 100 men, 5 men approach you. You pick the best of those 5 men. But again, you are only picking the best out of the 5 men instead of the other 99 men that were in the room. However, you got woman B who is like, listen, I'm about to go speak to some men. I'm about to go spark some conversations. I'm going to go after the 10 I like instead of the 5 that just likes me. I feel like her options open up. I feel like the woman that is more assertive about her expectations. Hey, listen, bro, we've been dating for quite some time. I want to be married. Is that what you're trying to do? That woman would tend to waste a little less time than a woman that would just keep her mouth shut and wait for a man to decide if he ever does. So My point is, y'all put it in the comment section. Let me know. So yeah, my stance is this: yo, do what you, to each his own. I mean, maybe can a man be a feminist? I don't even know if I could be a feminist, but I don't even know if that I can be one, but I am pro women doing what the hell they feel like they should do for their life. And I am pro if a man can do it, a woman can as well. I am not one of those things that it's a man's job and it's a woman's job. Like, listen, you've been taking care of your motherfucking self for all your motherfucking life. And if you want to ask a man to marry your damn self, then ask him. Shit, who am I to tell you not to? Now, as for me personally, again, I am more concerned about the conversation between the two people privately than I am about the showy display. But of course, I'm more of a private person. Anyway, my relationship is private. What goes in and out of it, y'all don't know about because it ain't your motherfucking business. If I decide to get married, that conversation with her will be private. And if I decide to propose, it's because we've already come to the understanding that we are getting married. And that proposal, that public proposal, will only be confirmation of what we decided in private. And it doesn't matter whether she sparked that conversation or I did. And I care as a man how she feels about it. I would never want my woman to be quiet about something, waiting for me to bring it up. If it's something that's bothering her and on her mind, if she's like, yo, I know you cool with just skating by the relationship being like it is, but you know, I really want some sense of commitment. And then I look at it and I'll be like, damn, you right. You know, we've been talking X amount of years and you right. Like, you want to do this thing? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's talk about it. Like, I don't care if she would bring it up. I would actually like really hate if that was something that was on her spirit for months and months and months. And she felt like because it wasn't her job, she shouldn't bring it up. I would never want somebody walking on eggshells like that around me. So, you know, there it is. Somebody said, hold on, somebody said, no. So can we as women speak? Hold on, as women ask a man to get pregnant for us? Now we supposed we supposed to be having an adult conversation. Somebody said it's funny women scream all this equality, but when it's time to do it, they run. You know what it is? I promise you, and I'm about to let y'all go. But you know what it is? I think it's more rejection. Yo, I really feel like that. You'd ask more men out on dates if you didn't fear rejection. It has little to do with it's not your place and he who finds a wife. You just don't want to deal with a man saying no. That'll crush your little spirit. You go ask this man, hey, let's go out on a date. I want to take you out, or let you know, whatever. He be like, nah, I'm good. Your little heart gonna be hurt. You like, shit. He said he was good. So I think y'all hide behind this a man's job because you don't want to accept rejection. And let me tell you, as a man who has been rejected a lot of my life, you got to deal with that shit. Like, you really got to deal with that. Listen, I would hate to live my life with my only options being the women that decide to talk to me. That would suck. Like, if I was like, okay, the rule from this point on is that I can only engage with women that first engage with me, my pool would be so small. My pool, my options would be this small, and y'all be okay with that. I don't understand it, but you okay with that because you don't want to deal with rejection. See, when you start shooting for the stars and shit, and be trying to talk to high quality, high, value women that, got the shit together, look good, yada, 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 it's going to be a lot of no's in there. Trust me. Now, I will say, if I only spoke to the women that inbox my DMs first, I would not get rejected at all because they've already expressed interest. This is why you probably don't talk to men. Like, you don't engage, because you like the safety of knowing that person is already interested in you first. It's a scary thought when you unsure. And that's on everything. Somebody said, "Are you insecure?" I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I'm insecure at all. I personally don't think I'm insecure at all. Let's see. Somebody said, if you wouldn't propose to him, do you really want him to propose to you? Or is that you're not yet happy with yourself and need to be happy with you? Good point. Good point. I never approached a man, and it's always old men that holler at me. I know, right? See, you be listen, you be picking, you be I'm just saying. They say you're let's see. Somebody said men also have way less to lose societally, which is unfortunate but true. Somebody said looks are going to fade away. How you treat someone makes you high quality. Amanda, I'm not gonna let you get that one off. I gotta get off here in a second. Amanda, I'm not gonna let you get that one off. You know why? Because there's this stigma that people that look good can't also be good people. Just because somebody look good don't mean they trash ass people. So in essence, what I am saying is, you know, someone for me that is highly attractive, got their brain on straight, compatible, that to me, you know, nice, you know, secular life, that to me makes them high quality. High quality, like quality, everybody, you know, people can work and be quality, but sometimes high quality is those intangible things, like those and also those physical things. And as much as we as people like to act like those don't exist, I just feel like they do. You know, I feel like they do. Take one more. Let's see. Exactly. And now we're supposed to get proposed to. Get out of here. We definitely talk about it, but can you have the decency and respect and to love me enough to want to get on one knee and propose? Why is a man that should even be negotiated? I'm blown. You have the decency, respect to just love me enough to want to get on one knee and propose. I don't want to sound like a broken record, and so this would be the last comment. Love goes both ways. Your same comment can be reversed. It is society in which you have been conditioned to think is the only way to do it that makes you equate the fact that a man gets on one knee to propose to the amount of love he has for you. And what I am saying is, even if that is true, wouldn't it also signal to him the amount of love you have for him? Can't love work both ways? I'm not sitting here suggesting one thing or the other, but I really just can't see how people don't see why we feel this way. I don't understand how you cannot listen to this conversation and objectively say you don't have any concrete reason as to why it's better for a man to do it than a woman. Besides your feelings, man, and what you've been taught. Gosh. It's tradition I'm keeping. Okay, yeah. All right, that's what I'm saying. Just say that then. But don't act like you have some like big revelation as to why it makes it more successful when a man does it than when a woman does it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, why is the idea of getting on one knee to propose degrading? I do not understand. I don't understand how asking the man with whom you want to spend the rest of your life with to spend the rest of his life with you is degrading. I don't understand it. Somebody said, I disagree. I don't think getting on one knee equates to amount of love. I 100% agree with your statement. It's okay. Hold on. It's his role, just as being in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, once was a woman's role, right? Just like being a doctor once wasn't a woman's role. Just like being vice president of the United States once was not a woman's role. Y'all love to box men and like and I'm about to get off of here. I done been talking way too long. Y'all love to box men in so much. I think that's my problem. Y'all love to box men in this big. This is the box men have to be able to travel in. It is okay to say your role is to a man, but let a man say your role is to you. It's a man's job. Y'all love to box us in. Let a man say some shit like that to you. It's a problem. All I'm saying is, as a man, for the 3 people this applied to that's listening, and I'm about to get off of here. If you want to be assertive and ask that man to marry you, go ahead, girl. Anybody to tell you any differently, they just talking about their feelings. They ain't got no statistical proof that makes it less likely for your marriage to work out. Hell, if he say no, then now you know he don't want to marry you. And now you ain't gonna waste a lot of your motherfucking time. Okay, it beats you giving that ultimatum proposal, because you know women end up doing that anyway if it take too long. But my point is, I just think we got to get inside this. I don't know. I just feel like we got to get inside to something different. You know what I'm saying? We got to get inside something different. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, embrace the woman you are and let a man be a man, or marry a girl. All right, so all right, last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm about to get off here. You know how many times I've heard a woman say toxic masculinity to me in the last 3 or 4 years of me doing Ace Metaphor, me traveling around the world, me doing these live videos. You know how many women has said the words toxic masculinity to me. And it's so many times it's been boxed as a problem that has been created and massaged and grown exclusively by men. There's no culpability at all when it comes from women or to women on this problem. Toxic masculinity is a masculine problem and men have to fix it. But then we have statements like this: let a man be a man. A man is your job. It's your role too. He's supposed to this. And it's not just on this subject. It is now when boys are small, you're not supposed to cry. You're acting like this. Your man post. I'm just saying, you can't, and this is not her comment, but you can't scream toxic masculinity this and hate the results of the box that you are helping put men in. Don't no man care if you propose or not. You do. And when you're saying, yo, it's his job, let a man be a man, that's some toxic shit that you are encouraging. Until a man be a man and start getting angry or be emotionally unavailable and this, that, and the other. It's always let a man be a man when it's convenient for you. But then when he's being a man inside that box that we put him in and it has negative consequences, let him, well, man gonna cheat. Let a man be a man. Like you don't accept that then. My point is, two people should not be boxed inside these roles, especially when it comes to the decision of who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. I believe it should be a joint decision anyway. I don't feel like it's nobody's job to do it. Y'all worried about the wrong thing. You up here worried so much about whose job it is to do than it is whether or not that person can actually do the job of staying married to you. So I love you guys, man. I love you guys. Hey, y'all. Hey, listen, y'all are in here today. Oh shoot. Y'all are in here today. Somebody said Ace House is toxic. The phrase let a man be a man is a toxic phrase. What the fuck does be a man mean? That's what I'm saying. Boys will be boys. That's toxic. To me, let a man be a man, that's toxic. Y'all listen, these double standards are so ingrained in you, you don't even realize it right now. For real, for real. I'm looking at y'all comments. I'm like, somebody said that man is gonna wear some ladies' underwear. See? Toxic. The idea, somebody said oh shoot. Oh shoot. Look, hey. Look. Hey, let me say this. And then I'm gonna let y'all go. Here's my idea. And I'm standing behind this, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say on this topic. I don't care about y'all opinions for real, because most of y'all still single, so it ain't like you got it figured out either. Okay, so what I'm encouraging everybody to do is take a look at why we feel the way we do about certain things. All right, period. Nobody telling you go propose to a man if you don't love him and you don't want to spend the rest of your life with him. But what I'm saying is, why do you feel like that's beneath you? I don't understand it. I personally don't. If I love somebody and I want to spend the rest of my life with them, I'm going to ask them to marry me. And I don't really think it matters who brings it up first. If she feels a reciprocal way, she's going to say yes. If she doesn't, she's going to say no. Vice versa. Doesn't really make a fucking big deal to me. But I do understand for ladies, this is a hot topic. Just saying, if this whole waiting for a man to decide to approach you thing, waiting for a man to come find you thing, waiting for a man to propose to you thing, ain't really been working for you. I think it would be foolish to not consider giving a thought to being more assertive when it comes to your love life. But that's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it. I love you guys. Peace.